Hey, this is On It Imagination. Welcome to This Podcast is Not a Conspiracy. So, we're going to talk about the Roman factor. The Roman factor is when you understand how much the Roman Empire doctored all the books and how much they controlled from when to when, you start to go in with an understanding of this can't be trusted. And that's it. We're talking about your trust in the Roman Empire. So the Romans, you have to understand their psychology. We're going to cover that. And then I'm going to explain where they influenced and basically their inherited influence. And that's really it. So influential heritage, okay? And then we're going to look at how much you're trusting them. And when you take these three factors into place, you get the Roman factor. So Rome began around 700 BCE by a dude named Romulus. Romulus was a piece of fucking shit. He started life by killing his own brother, which made him Cain. So this is a man who bears the mark of Cain. We're going to start right there. This man was not a good person, okay? He claimed to be the grandson of Paris, Prince Paris, the same piece of shit who kidnapped and raped Helen of Sparta. That one. Romulus, the brother killer, was so inspired by his great grandfather, Prince Paris, rapist of Helen, that he decided to literally design the rape of the Sabine women, which was an entire city-wide raping and kidnapping of women. The rape of the Sabine was done exactly like the Trojan War. It was a peace offering of friendship, disguised as a party this time. That was a ruse for kidnapping and raping. This so pissed off all the neighboring Greeks that they decided to declare war against the kingdom of Rome. The women who were raped were so concerned for the welfare of their brothers and fathers that the women who were being raped begged their fathers and brothers to not fight Rome. And they said, okay. So all of the Greeks stopped fighting Rome, and Rome got to keep the women. And that is how it began. That is why to this day you carry your wife over the threshold upon your wedding day to commemorate and honor the raping of the Sabine women, because you are Roman and you probably don't know it. Romulus, after he killed his brother, decided it was a really good idea to form a group and a community. The people he decided to put into his community were all the thieves, all the liars, all the cheaters who had been banished from neighboring societies. That's right, he created a band of criminals. That's that's the kingdom of Rome. These band of criminals formed a kingdom called Rome, and that is what we call the seed of Rome. In mathematics, there's a little something called the origin theorem. The origin theorem is really important for everybody in the world to know. The origin theorem is a known fact that whatever is the origin passes on its seed to everything that succeeds it. So that if X is inside the origin, everything thereafter will have X. This is how DNA and genetics works. And if something has Y, it will pass on Y. The X and the Y inside the origin are called common denominators. These create a spinal cord that attaches to the origin. So the origin of all things Roman is Romulus. This is not something we want inside of our origin. Now, Rome and all things that were Rome passed on Romulus's psychology, mentality, mindset, and ethics, or lack thereof, and he passed them down to all of his successors after generation for about 2,700 years. And here we are, the offspring of a brother killer and rapist who built a community of criminals. Does that explain our educational system and government? In order to fix this problem, you want to go to the beginning before Romulus and build up another origin as your predecessor as something more solid and ethical. I recommend the real origin, not Romulus. I recommend somebody a little bit more stable, like love and logic or wisdom. That would be a great origin to base your everything off of. Now, once you choose your origin, which you can do because we all come from it, and you build your entire everything off of that origin instead, and then you choose the common denominators to build with your spinal cord, you pretty much can do whatever the hell you want, so long as it's ethical. And then you have yourself one of the strongest spinal cords and foundations you could possibly get. This is the origin theorem. I'm going to point out to you that the word is theorem, which means proven fact, which means it will work because that's how origins work. Origin theorem. The problem with the United States, the Western civilization, and anything else that is influenced or was ever touched by Rome is it contains the Roman origin theorem. So now we have a problem. So when you understand where Rome started, what it touched, and how it spread, you can see it. It's a formula. The formula it uses is lies, narcissism. Oh, I'm not joking. Narcissism is Roman formula. It's identical. A snip and shuffle. We're going to talk about the snip and shuffle. And also, with that gorgeous snip and shuffle, it contains one of the cleanest crime scenes you will ever see in all of history, which is the red alert that someone tampered with shit. So the snip and shuffle is when they rewrite story. They supplant their own written story in place of something to clean up and hide the origin. That way you can't figure out what really happened and you continue to follow the origin of their choice. So they have controlled the narrative by giving you a supplanted origin. The word supplanted origin has another word for it with an actual meaning called Jacob. Look it up. Jacob means supplanted origin. I'm just going to put that out there. Rome began at 700 BCE. Which means everything prior to 700 BCE is cleaner. Now, you also need to know about Neo-Mesopotamia literature. So we're going to be doing another thing about that. This is going to be our conspiracy class. I love that. We're going to have a conspiracy theory class. So Neo-Mesopotamian literature. And I'm going to be teaching you what that is. You really need to know about that because that one goes back to 2000 BCE. But that one's going to be a lot easier for you to see. And you can see how that definitely, oh, how very much Romulus monopolized that gorgeous thing and what's the word? Capitalized on it. So Roman capitalized on Neo-Mesopotamia literature. You can see where he cherry-picked all this bullshit from. Now, Romulus comes from a very specific region. And if you look at the region in which he comes from and his marks, you have the ability to go, you can triage it. You can go, oh, well, that's Romulan. Okay, so let's throw that over there. Oh, that's Greek. Okay, that's clean. So you have the ability to cherry pick. Now, there's also another factor to consider, and that is the hierarchy of dimension. We're going to talk about hierarchy and dimension. That's another story we're going to come up with. Ha, ha, ha. I love my words. Another story we're going to come up with. I love psychology. Oh, yes. Yes, I love that. And there you go. Another story I'm going to come up with. So I'm going to show you hierarchy and dimension. And I'm going to show you how that works. And then Neo-Mesopotamia literature and plug those two in. And then when you take it in with the Roman factor, you're going to be able to take a look at it and plug it in over there. And then you're going to see another picture and you're going to go, holy fucking shit. And I'm going to go, I know, right? It's amazing. It's amazing. So, by the way, everything I give you is 100% easily researchable. You can find it. It's all over the internet. I just know how to connect the dots differently than everybody else. So imagine that we all got the same connect the dots, okay? You got to connect the dots. I got to connect the dots. Everybody in the world got the same connect the dots. And you all got one picture when you drew. And you went, oh, look, I got a duck. And I went, very nice. Except I looked at it and went, well, I see evidence that somebody rearranged this entire documentation. And I don't think these constellations or these dots, did I say constellations, actually read what people say they are. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at them again. So I did, and I reconnected the dots and I used logic to figure out the actual mathematical pattern of all the dots connecting. And when I did that, I realized that I got a completely different picture. When I did that, I went, oh. Now, the data points are still the same, but you got to rearrange them in the right connecting of the dot order and go, oh, it's not a duck. No, it's not. It's not. So everything I say to you is 100% provable, and it's already proven with archaeological evidence, and there's no tampering. And wherever there is tampering, you can see the Roman factor with their little fingerprint right on it. So once you understand how to read the Roman fingerprint, I'm going to be teaching you, and you can start to understand the Roman factor and you can start doing the proper triage with a Poyota stat, you'll understand how all the pieces fit together and you'll get a completely different picture. History really starts to look different then. So we're going to talk about the Neo-Mesopotamian literature and the hierarchy and dimension. We're going to talk about those. So thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.